Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my long overdue makeup inventory. Yes, I'm about 2 months late for this. I apologize, but my numbers are still based off of January 1st, 2023, and we'll be comparing to January 1st, 2022, the changes and improvements I made to my makeup collection. I have been and still am on a low buy. I do a beauty bank style inspired by It's Just Steph. I can link my most recent one in the cards. I am hoping to do this speedy because I am so late, and I do plan on doing a mid-year update. I will be popping up pictures to the side of me. I hope the pictures are accurate. I might be missing a product or two here or there. But overall, I did want to say that I am just very pleased with how my makeup collection is coming along. I am on a low buy, so not a no buy. So I am okay with my collection growing a tiny bit each year. I just don't want to go crazy, and I want to be sure I'm still using up my makeup, have lots of makeup empties, etc. And I think I've been doing a pretty good job so far. So I am just going to do big picture first. I usually do that last, but then I feel like people don't stick around till the end to know these stats. So I'm going to do like big picture stats first, then we'll be breaking down category by category, the changes in numbers, how I'm feeling about it, and if I have any goals. I don't tend to set very specific goals per category. I'm not like, oh, I only want to have 3 foundations. It's not really about that for me, just my collection as a whole. So the total number of makeup products I had going into 2023 was 541 makeup items, and that is down from 544 makeup products last year. So despite all the hauling I did for Black Friday, I was getting a decent amount of PR last year. I managed to decrease my collection by 3 total items. I feel so good about that, honestly. Like, I was not expecting that number at all, but I went through my entire makeup collection. I made sure my inventory was up to date, and I am confident in that number, and that feels so good. I was allowing my collection to increase by 20 items, so I feel really good about that. And then if I exclude eyeshadows from that, I have 359 makeup products. That's like blush, eyeliners, foundation, like everything except for eyeshadows. 359. I switched the 3 and the 5. That is down from 370 from last year. So I typically bring in more eyeshadows than I do anything else. That's why, I mean, there's a 11 product difference if you take away eyeshadows, and only a 3 product difference if you include eyeshadows. So that is definitely something to look at. The total number of pans in my collection increased to 29 items from 23. Not that big of a jump, but I have noticed, especially with eyeshadow palettes, that when I work really hard and hit pan on them, and especially when they're older palettes, those are the ones typically I'm like decluttering. I'm kind of sick of them, I'm over it, and they get decluttered to friends and family. So even though I did hit 10, now I need to check. How many pans did I hit in 2022? I hit 10 pans in 2022, but then I was decluttering items with pan as well. Going into the new year, I had 1,176 pans of eyeshadow, which was an increase from 1,068 pans of eyeshadow I had in January of 2022. So that's kind of my big picture stats. I feel really good about those. I have already made improvements so far this year, which it was really hard to take the pictures. I had to kind of like be digging through my bin of decluttered things, my bin of makeup empties so far this year, and gathering things up from my everyday makeup drawer. Like, products are just everywhere. So if I'm the number I'm speaking to you is accurate. If you pause the video and count every little thing in the picture, we might be missing a few. But let's just kick it off at the top. We'll start off with primers. I have 14 primers. That is down from 17 last year. I decreased my primer collection by 3. I almost said 13. No. I'm feeling like that's a lot of primer. And for primer and maybe even foundation, I might do like a 2 out, 1 in situation going forward. I'm not gonna like fully stick to that as a hard and fast rule for my low buy, but I am feeling like a lot of them do the same, but there are some on my wish list that I would love to try. There is 1 or 2 that I would like to repurchase that I've used up in the past, but I do need to get through some of my older ones. So 14 primers. I have 15 foundations, which was down by 1 from 16. Foundation is something that I find really hard to decrease the category because I will use up a foundation and then there's so many foundations on my wish list, I will buy another one. And I am typically pretty good at waiting until I finish a foundation before buying a new one, with the exception I bought 2 new foundations already since the new year. But so when I look historically across, I started doing inventories in 2018. It has remained mostly consistent. There's not big fluctuations in that category. Do I need 15 foundations? Absolutely not. But at the same time, I would not be super upset, overwhelmed, mad, whatever, if it increased a little bit either, because I love foundation. Concealer did increase to 11 from 9. Which I was a little surprised about, but I do include sample items, and I know for sure I have the Charlotte Tilbury concealer sample because I wanted to try that. And I did buy a new one during Black Friday, so there are some really old concealers I would love to get out. I have a lot of concealers that I don't particularly like very much, so it's hard to get the motivation to pan them, but also they're getting on the older side, so I don't necessarily want to hand them off to someone else. And I find it hard to declutter makeup that I didn't like to someone else, because if I didn't like it, I assume other people won't like it. That is obviously not even true because everyone has different opinions, but to like present some concealers to my friends and family and be like, I hated all of these, do you want one? It just seems a little weird. So anyways, I have more concealers than I did last year. Again, I don't feel super overwhelmed with this category being at 11. I made great progress with my powders. I did a declutter one, and I think one was a sample from last year as well. I went from 14 powders down to 10. You will see on the pictures I have 4 pressed and 6 loose. A couple of the loose ones are on the smaller side. They're minis, but I would prefer that to be a more even split. And I would prefer to use up, I think I have 2 pressed powders that are close to being finished, and I think I want to pick up 1 or 2 powder foundations and still use them as like setting powders, but with a bit more coverage, because sometimes I feel like I love a light coverage natural finish foundation, but then I have a lot of scarring like right here specifically. I would love a powder with some coverage to kind of cover this area, and then use lighter, maybe a loose powder on the rest of my face, if that makes sense. So that is going to be something I work on this year. Now we're getting into some big categories. We're going to kick it off with blush. I haven't even taken this picture yet because I'm overwhelmed to pull them all out. I have 50 blushes.
Wow.
Hi. That is actually down by 1. I had 51 in January of 2022, which is very surprising to me. I don't really know how that happened. I don't know which blush was decluttered, but here we are, and I most certainly brought blushes into my life. Bronzer is down to 25 from 28. I am much more comfortable with 25 bronzers versus 28. Bronzer is something that I do feel a bit overwhelmed with in my collection when I'm looking at so many, because I feel like the difference for me with bronzer versus blush is blush I have like a variety of colors, a variety of finishes, and I just feel very inspired. I love blush so much. Bronzer, I feel like a lot of them do the same thing, and picking one bronzer versus another, obviously there are exceptions and I have variety as well, but I don't get as excited to make the choice between them. I feel like a lot of them do the same thing. And in saying that, when I was kind of like looking through my wish list, I have like saved collection and folder or something on Instagram. A lot of them are bronzers and I couldn't make myself like remove a bunch of them. So I say I'm overwhelmed with my bronzers. I say I don't notice that much difference, and yet I want more. I am being good at not purchasing them. Like I think I'm going to do better about either using up a bronzer or at least hitting pan on one or two bronzers before bringing in a new one. Emmett is now in here. I am sure you saw. So if you hear some noise, that is what that is. Highlighter also decreased. I have 37 highlighters down from 42. Once again, I couldn't tell you which ones are missing. I used up one liquid highlighter in 2022 and I did better with decluttering. I didn't declutter things that I'm missing. Clearly, I don't even remember what the items were, but if I was going to see a bunch of my family, I would kind of just peruse my collection and pick out things that I would not miss. Like I would be okay if these things disappeared, and that worked so well for me this year. I feel really good about it. My face palettes has stayed the same at 7. It has been 7 face palettes for a long time. I have been getting more and more use out of my face palettes because I've been putting them in like Project 100 uses, Project 10 uses, and just really making it a priority. They also get rolled into my whole collection project pan pretty frequently because it's multiple pans listed. So like a 6-pan face palette has 6 chances of being pulled. There are a couple face palettes on my wish list as well. But again, I'm being good and not purchasing any, but I like the multi-purpose of a face palette. Like not so much like oh, what's this? That's for hungry hippos. Not so much like a full blush palette, but even my BH one, for example, that is in Project 10 uses. There's a highlighter, there's some like more skin tone powders, there's bronzers in there, like bronzers for my skin tone. And I can reach for that one palette and do multiple steps of my makeup routine, and that's what I like about them. Setting sprays, I'm still at 7. I didn't use up any setting sprays in 2022. Granted, I never focused on one. I was just kind of rotating through. I hope to change that this year. I definitely need to use some up. My eyeliners I have the same amount. I have 23. I don't have a lot to share on this category. I have a variety of black, brown, neutral, and colored. And I do have more liquid liners than I feel that I need. But again, I'm not too worried about it. I have a brown liquid liner, a black traditional liquid liner, a red liquid liner, and then my stamps. So I do feel good about this category. I like a variety of colored eyeliners, and actually there's a few colors I have felt that I am missing, so I'm okay with having more eyeliners as long as they're different. I don't want to be buying black eyeliners or brown. I'm specifically thinking like It's Just Steph makes me want a cobalt blue liner. She likes it because she has blue eyes. I have like green hazel eyes, but she still makes me want a blue one. And I'm missing like purple. I have like an amethyst that has shimmer in it, and I have like a very light purple, but I want a true purple, maybe even a true purple and like a plummy shade. These are things that as I'm doing my makeup, sometimes I feel like I'm missing. Mascara, I went into the new year with 5. I only have 4 in the picture because I've actually given my aunt one. She said she needed a mascara. I said, here you go. So I couldn't take a picture of all 5. Eye bases, I have 8. I got a few new ones in 2022. One is nearing the end and I have some samples. So this category is much too big, but also I'm not like too worried about it, if that makes sense. Brow products. I made such good progress on my brow products. I am down to only 6. I was flying through brow products, finishing up some old ones, and I even bought 2 new brow items. Was it 2? Yeah. Black Friday, 2 NYX ones. So I feel really good about that. I have like a clear brow gel, a tinted brow gel with fibers. I have a pencil I'm using now and a backup. One's a micro pencil and one isn't. And what else do I have? A pomade situation. What am I missing? Oh, I had 2 micro brow pencils, but I've since finished one. So I'm down even lower at this point. Now we're into lip products. Again, I'm surprised this number isn't bigger. I have 29 lip glosses, up by 1 from 28 in January. But I bought a lot of lip gloss last year, so I'm not entirely sure how that happened, but I have 29 lip glosses. I have 40 liquid lipsticks, up from 34. That is entirely the 6 Alter Ego matte liquid lipstick shades that they sent to me in PR. I do still plan on doing a lip swatch and trying new drugstore makeup video or affordable makeup, but that is where the 6 came from. I didn't use up any liquid lipsticks, but those ones came into my life. My bullet lipsticks is up to 48 from 45. I went lip product crazy last year. I don't know what got into me, but I was wanting like a variety of new shades, new formulas. I was just so excited about them. And now a lot of them are sitting in my makeup drawer of shame. So that is on my list as well, to film a new one, as well as a review roundup for the the shame videos I've already done. Lip liners is down to 16 from 19. That was decluttering. I feel really good about that because I am not a lip liner girly. I am panning one, so I've been using one on a more regular basis, and it's just not for me. What I need to do is pan my neutral lip liners, get them out of here, and then only have like a true red lip liner, maybe some vampy shade lip liners, because that is what I need a lip liner for, is for a more bold lip look, not just your everyday nude. I just don't use them like that. Lip treatments, this is lip balms, lip masks, lip scrubs, down to 8 from 13. I feel really good about that. Now we are into eyeshadows. I have 97 eyeshadow singles. That is up by 1 from 96 last year. And my palettes grew to 85, up from 78. So I did bring in quite a lot of eyeshadow palettes in 2022, but I also decluttered. And so 85 palettes is, yes, a lot, but I'm already being better about rotating through them. And as long as I'm rotating through my palettes, I don't mind having a lot of eyeshadows. Ending pan those eyeshadows was the best decision for me in terms of getting use out of more of my eyeshadow collection. I love that project so much. I love the roulette. I love the challenge of it, but I'm not good at panning eyeshadow like others. When other people are like, I panned this matte shade in 10 uses, I'm rolling it out, I'm at like 40. And I don't even do my makeup every day, so it's just exhausting for me. Ooh, my collarbone always cracks. Anyways, that's besides the point. I have 85 eyeshadow palettes. I feel good about that. Honestly, as long as I'm under 100, I say that now, but someday I might be over 100. As of today, as long as I'm under 100, I feel okay. That is not set in stone. If I change my mind, or if I have over 100 palettes someday in the future, You can't use those words against me. And I also have some non-makeup item stats here. I have 17 perfumes, up from 10. I was dabbling in fragrances. I bought one travel sprayer, and then I bought the Kaoli like sampler set to try a bunch of their fragrances. And so I still haven't used up any of those. And as I use them up and kind of make a decision on maybe one or two that I would like to buy the travel size from, that will decrease. My nail polish has stayed the same at 58. That includes top coats, base coats, gel polishes, regular nail polishes, all of it. I'm not good at keeping up with my nails. I want to do better because even like my cuticles and stuff are crusty. I just am constantly on the go, on the move, and I get really peeved when I take the time to do cuticle oil and base coat and let them dry, and I'm sitting there and then my toddler spills juice on himself and I need to get him dressed and it wrecks my nails and then I have to take it off. It's such a waste of time. So maybe that's a New Year's resolution, is to get better at doing my nails. Face masks down to 8 from 11. I really focused on some older face masks last year, as well as decluttered ones that were just old, crusty, dried out. Hair care items down to 16 from 17. That is hair treatments, styling items. All of that is kind of lumped into one category. I don't do anything with my hair, ever. I should have put some anti-frizz stuff in it today because I feel kind of like a lion, but I didn't. So I have no business having that many hair care items. And body care has stayed the same at 15. Body butters, body scrubs, tanning products are all in there. So that was faster than I thought I could do it, even though I'm looking at the time and it could have been faster. I feel so good about my makeup inventory, honestly. Yes, I have a lot of makeup. Yes, many people on YouTube have way more makeup than me, and both is fine. It always boggles my mind how people, like the comments from people who don't follow me perhaps, or maybe we're not best friends like some of us are, will comment like, oh, that's not very much makeup at all. And other people be like, wow, you're a hoarder. And it just doesn't bother me like how much makeup someone else has or doesn't have. I'm happy with my collection. I'm happy that my collection decreased in many categories, and I made great progress on it last year while still scratching the makeup buying itch and not blowing my budget, but making smarter makeup purchasing decisions. I bought makeup that I was so excited for last year, and I'm going to continue doing that into 2023 while trying to nail down project panning strategy. I just feel like so many others in the community are just so much better at project panning than I am. Yet I love project panning so much, and it fills me up with so much joy to like hit pan or finish an item that I've been working hard on. So that is why I continue to project pan as much as I do, even though I still am buying makeup, and I still prefer to shop my stash and rotate through things than have a specific basket and do the same look every day. I can't do that. So anyways, that tangent at the end was completely unnecessary. Let me know how you're doing on your makeup inventory. I apologize once again that this is so much later than it should have been, but these numbers were of January 1st. I've already made some improvements, which I'm excited to share with you in July. I hope to do like a 6-month, mid-year update, probably without all the pictures, because that takes the longest and is probably why I've been putting this off for so long. I've only taken half the pictures I need to at the time I'm filming this part, but it's just so much work. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm going to shut up now, give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!